In the south, it's nothing like it is in other parts of Britain, where a red weather warning remains in certain parts of England and Scotland, and residents of hundreds of homes have been urged to evacuate as Storm Babette batters the country.
Storm Bella has brought winds of more than 100 miles an hour to many parts of the UK, along with heavy rain. The Met Office has also issued yellow warnings for snow and ice, meaning disruption is likely in parts of Wales, the northwest of England, Scotland, and the whole of Northern Ireland.
Patrick Richardson, my name, yeah, and I lived down here since 1942. No, I haven't. I've not noticed any sea level rise down here at all. No. It's it would be noticeable down here as well because we're not much above sea level anyway, and if there was any rise, it would be noticeable. No, no increase. I've been in conversation with the Coast Guards quite a lot at different times. There used to be a lot of Coast Guard stationed at Dungeness, but there's not now. Dover is the nearest place now. But there used to be permanent Coast Guard stations down here, and they, mainly I think to keep them occupied more than anything else, they used to keep a record of the weather forecasts about every 6 hours or something like that. They used to record what the weather was like. And when you were talking to them, they seemed to think there was more wind years ago than what there is now. They reckoned in those days there was a wind strength of more than force 6 for at least 3 days a week. We don't get anything like that now. Years back, yeah, it was a shoreline. The shoreline was probably roughly where the road is now, in 1900, something like that. About where the road is now was probably about where the shoreline is. But in 1908 they had this sea washed all up around the front of the house, and they thought they was going to lose it. Thought it was going in the sea. And it's all grown out now. I don't know how many, several hundred yards there now. Yeah, the shore is growing out all the time.
Okay, my name's Natalie Adams and I'm a volunteer at Dungeness Lifeboat Station. I think storms, we've always had bad storms. Ever since I was a kid, I've sort of lived down here for 30 years now. I remember when I was little, Dad was a fisherman. They would have to go and haul the boats up the beach if there was a big storm coming in, especially if it coincided with a big tide, big high tide, to get the boat sort of clear of any swell. So I remember that happening a lot when I was a kid through the winter. So I don't think, my personal experiences, I don't think they're getting any worse. I don't think they're getting any more frequent. They've always been a bit of a problem, and they probably always will be. Yeah, so I haven't noticed any sea level rise as such here. In the sort of 30 years I've been alive, or the 15 years that I've been involved with the sea. I haven't seen the water getting any higher at high tides. And again, I remember when I was a kid, the lifeboat was put on standby because there was risk of flooding at Canberra. They were worried that the sea defences were going to break one night during a storm. So I think it's something that has always been a risk to the area, and I personally haven't noticed it getting any worse.
Right, my name is Lee. We live in Dymchurch. We went away for the weekend. People got in touch and said there'd been problems with flooding in the area. So we came back on a Monday. Walked in and thought we got away with it first of all. Couldn't see any signs of flooding until I went to the back door and noticed that the floor mat was soaking wet. It built up to such an extent it's come over into our garden, it's gone through the garage and into our back room. Had to take all the flooring up, it's gone, it's damaged some of the skirting boards, damaged some stuff in the garage. Unfortunately we had family photos on a bag on the floor, so they've been ruined, a lot of those. We only moved in July, so I thought we had to move in, didn't have to do anything. Now I'm taking floors up and probably having to replace skirting boards, which means having to do the wallpaper, redo the wallpaper, blah blah blah, all that. We've got to hope that there's no more heavy rain. And well, to such an extent, it was an extraordinary amount of rain that came down that weekend. I know it was well out of the usual, and it's the first time that it's flooded into people's houses.
The floods outside my house, there was a lot of water. So you'd have to, if you're going shopping, you're literally paddling in the water.
Yeah.
That affected quite a bit, stopped people going out. So that was really a bit of a concern if you've got elderly people. I was worried that it could damage my property.
Yeah.
And it could have a long-term effect of, if it continued, you just don't go out. You're too scared to go out for your own safety.